What is going on, everyone? Welcome into Big Time Football Talk. So I just wanted to touch on this upcoming 2024 NFL draft quarterback class. And I know I shouldn't be doing this without diving deep into the tape on a lot of these guys, but I just wanted to talk about how interesting this draft is. And I just want to touch on how much people are going to be talking about this draft class. So Caleb Williams, USC, the former Oklahoma Sooner, is the consensus number one quarterback. Drake May is the consensus number two quarterback. He's out of North Carolina. Michael Penix Jr. out of Washington, the former Indiana Hoosier transfer, is number three. Quinn Ewers, number four, out of Texas, 1 year at Ohio State. Bo Nix, number five, out of Oregon. And Shadir Sanders, number six, the Jackson State transfer and the son of Deion Sanders, the head coach of Colorado. Also some more notable guys, J.J. McCarthy, Michigan. Jaden Daniels, a guy that seems like he's played about 10 years of college football. DJ Uiagalelei and Spencer Rattler. What's interesting about Spencer Rattler is once upon a time, about 2 years ago, there was hype for Spencer Rattler after the 2020 season that he was I think he was the favorite to go number one in the 2022 NFL draft. Now that's fast forward a couple years later. Spencer Rattler transferred to South Carolina this past year, had a nice season, has kind of reinvented himself, kind of just went back to basics. Saw him hitting a lot of checkdowns, just working to get more into a flow instead of trying to just make a big highlight play. I think maybe he felt the pressure of Caleb Williams, probably replacing him. But you saw Spencer Rattler look more calm, look more comfortable, and at the end of the year was really excelling. So you hope this is not just a thing where you hope this is not just kind of a do-over of Oklahoma where he got comfortable 1 year and put up on lots of stats and he kind of just reverts back to a guy who's just going to throw interceptions, make poor decisions, and force throws. So you hope this is a building block, and you hope he's going to take the next step and get back into one of the top quarterbacks in this draft because he throws a beautiful type spiral and a very accurate football. So let's talk Quinn Ewers. Quinn Ewers, I mean, all the arm talent in the world. He makes a lot of wow throws. A guy that if he would have stayed in the Alabama game, they likely would have won. Ewers, though, towards the end of the year, really started to struggle. Didn't really look like the quarterback that we saw for the first half of Alabama before he got hurt. I think Ewers, though, with the Manning kid, Arch Manning coming in, I think Ewers will step up his game, and I think he's a guy that he's the perfect example of a guy that's either going to really rise or a guy that's really going to fall. So this year, this is a pivotal season for Quinn Ewers because he could fall into the Spencer Rattler thing. If he has a really bad year, maybe he just is like, oh man, people just kind of just brush it aside. Oh, it's not going to happen. Even obviously, it's not like a bad year would not be the end for Quinn Ewers. He still has like a couple years of eligibility after that, but a bad year this year, and he's really, a lot of people are just kind of, he's definitely could just start to become old news. Michael Penix Jr., I've only watched a few games this past season, but I remember him from 2020 torching Michigan. As a guy that does have a live arm. He's a lefty, a guy that, when he's on, he's on. So I like his game a lot. I think he'll be an interesting guy. It seems like he's the consensus number 2, 3 quarterback, number 3 consensus here in this database. But I'll be excited to watch Michael Penix Jr., just one of the more talented quarterbacks in the Pac-12. Bo Nix, I'll touch on Bo Nix. Bo Nix had a long career. Started at Auburn, came in as a 5-star recruit out of high school. A guy did some nice things at Auburn. I thought he really I thought there was times he did a lot. I thought Auburn was down big in some games, and I thought Bo Nix did as much as he could, making plays to keep him. He's an excellent runner, a lot better athlete than he gets credit for. This is a guy that you see when he gets in the open field, he can really accelerate and pick up yardage when he scrambles. So, and he does have a pretty good arm. It's lively. It's a pretty fluid release overall. So, yeah, I'm a fan of Bo Nix's game. We'll see what he does. This will be year. What is? I think this will be his 5th year in college, I believe. And then J.J. McCarthy, Michigan. McCarthy did not have his best year this year, which I sound kind of crazy saying because, Michigan was 13-1. But if you look, McCarthy was more, a lot of times was the distributor. Was not necessarily making a ton of big-time throws. You didn't see finally until the Ohio State game, I guess, big-time players, big-time moment, step up in big-time moment. You did see in the Ohio State game him hitting some deep balls, but those were just such outstanding looks by the Ohio State defense because Ohio State was just, putting almost everyone up in the box. So can McCarthy make some more big-time throws downfield? Does he improve his deep accuracy this year? It's a guy that definitely has the short and intermediate throws. He definitely can hit. As a guy that does have a kind of a longer release, which I'm not a huge fan of, but I think he can build upon his accuracy. I think he can get more comfortable in the pocket and not always try to be a run-first guy. So excited to see what J.J. McCarthy does entering his true junior season. Caleb Williams. Yeah, Caleb Williams, I mean, there's not a lot to really break down here. This is a guy that probably the best prospect, most sure slam dunk thing. I'd even say going back to Andrew Luck because I don't think there was a single person in the right mind that was willing to say Andrew Luck was going to be a bust in the National Football League. So I don't think Caleb Williams has really any chance of busting unless he just becomes unless it's just just has a string of injuries, I guess. But I think he has a very bright future. I think he's going to have an excellent year for USC this year. So that's what I want to touch on with the quarterbacks for the 2024 draft. I'm going to dive deep into their tape and get a full breakdowns on these guys, but I just wanted to go over the class and talk about how polarizing, how interesting it is, and this class is going to get a lot of talk, a lot of buzz as we head into next year and as we hit draft time next. It's around a little less than a year away from now. Thanks for tuning in to Big Time Football Talk. Make sure to stay tuned for more episodes and clips from the show. Till next time, peace.